Bidding wars suck. I'm going to talk about that, and then I'm going to ask for your input on new data I'm introducing, which breaks the city of Toronto down into more specific neighborhoods for week ending February 15th, 2023. Bidding wars, they suck. The only people that like bidding wars are the sellers and sometimes the seller's agents. But bidding wars suck. No buyer likes bidding wars. When I talk about bidding wars, I'm talking about the whole process, the whole pricing strategy of pricing low. Seller has no intentions of accepting that offer, however. Everybody understands that should sell for more than that price, but there's an offer date. So it's price low, offer date, and on offer night, buyers are all supposed to gather around and compete to purchase this one property. That's the whole process I'm talking about. They suck. What's worse is the way these bidding wars are sometimes, or this whole offer night process is sometimes managed. We were recently looking at a property with one of our buyer clients. The property was listed on Wednesday. Offer night was scheduled for the following Tuesday. We had booked a showing for the weekend, for Saturday. Plenty of time to see the property on the weekend, to see it more than once if we wanted to, organize ourselves to be able to put a decent offer together for Tuesday. When I went in to book the showing, I could see already in such a short period of time that the property was listed, lots of people are interested in this property. The whole weekend was almost already fully booked just after being listed for a day. There was at least 20, maybe more showings booked for the weekend. We're all set to see it on the weekend. On Friday afternoon, I receive an email saying the offer date has been moved up to Friday evening. Now, from the time I received the email to when the new offer time was 3 hours. That's it. There was a 3-hour window where if we wanted to see the property before we put in an offer, we actually need to somehow quickly organize, get in there, book a time, show it, prepare an offer for the time that they said. So there was a 3-hour window. Now, understand when the offer date is moved from Tuesday to Friday, earlier, not later, but earlier, knowing that there's a ton of showings for the weekend, what the seller and the seller's agent is deciding is that they're okay that all these people for the weekend that plan to see the property, that they're not going to be able to see it because there's going to be very few people that in that 3-hour window can actually organize themselves to put an offer together. Most buyers will at least want to see the house. Like, how is all that going to happen? So the sellers have decided they're okay with a ton of people not seeing their house. They're okay with there being 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 offers for people that maybe have already seen it that somehow can organize themselves to put the offer together in time. They're okay. Why would they be okay with that? There's only one reason. That offer that they've received is so good that it's a one-in-a-lifetime type of offer that they get this offer early and say, wow, this is so good. We need to accept this right away. So let's tell everybody, screw you. You're not going to be able to see this house. We got such a great offer. We're going to accept this offer tonight. That's what they're basically telling the world. I told my client this, hey, say, listen, that property, they got offers tonight. And he was right away, well, I thought it was Tuesday. Correct, it was Tuesday, but they've moved it to tonight. What do you want to do? Can we get in there to see it? Do you have time? Well, so I'm working, I can't. He was so put off with the whole process, said, forget it, forget that house, we'll look for something else. And that's what we did. But the next morning, I receive an email saying, that home didn't sell that night, still available for showing, and the offer night has now been moved back to its original date on Tuesday night. What a mess. Drove everybody crazy. This is not how to manage an offer night. Look, there's so many things that have to happen the right way for an offer night to be successful. And just because the home sells for over asking doesn't necessarily mean it was a successful offer night. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the whole listing, the sale process was maximized. Who you hire matters. It really makes a difference. Even if you're selling over asking, maybe you didn't really maximize the full potential of the situation. Who you hire matters. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video in the description is a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way I'll know ahead of time and I'll make sure my schedule is organized so we can talk about whatever's on your mind. Let's get into the numbers. So here we have, here we have City of Toronto broken down by week for detached properties only. For week ending February the 15th, 108 detached properties were sold. 24 were sold at $2 million or more, and average sold price has come down from the previous week to $1,642,000. A lot of the reason the price has come down is the amount of properties selling at $2 million or more. The previous week we sold 32, this week we sold 24. That for sure affects overall average sold price. So average sold price, $1,642,000, which is 20% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. And the median price of $1,363,000 is 18% lower than where the median price was a year ago. Now the dotted line, the dotted line's going this way. That's a 4-week moving average, and I have it for average price and for median price. And the green dotted line, the vertical line this way, it's kind of splitting new year 2023 versus last year. And if we look at just the dotted line, the 4-week moving average, last year leading up to the end of the year kind of looks like prices were kind of flat. But this year, average prices and median prices so far have been moving up, and you're seeing a lot of bidding wars out there. You're seeing a lot of properties selling quickly. There seems to be such an intensity that wasn't there the last quarter of last year. It's like buyers all of a sudden have woken up and decided we want to buy now, and not enough new listings to compensate for that. So there is a lot of competition. When we look at sales, of the 108 that sold, 40% sold at list price or more. And listings haven't moved much. We listed 204, which is kind of similar to we've been listing for the last few weeks. Months of inventory sitting at 1.7, much lower than where we were leading up to the end of last year, but it has come down quite a bit, now sitting at 1.7. Now, after this chart, I would normally be introducing West, Central, and East Toronto. I'm introducing a new chart. I've broken Toronto down into more specific neighborhoods. There's 9 neighborhoods. For example, I used to say East Toronto would be East York and Scarborough. Well, I've split those up. This data is more specific to the neighborhood, and I think you're going to find it more useful, especially depending on which part of the city you're living in or interested in buying in. But this is where I need your input. Let me know what you think of this chart. Comments, I'd really appreciate them. So let's look at this. This is a quick summary of all of City of Toronto. But if we look around, we can see, sales, the blue number, we've got the most sales in Scarborough, 28 sales. Some areas, well, downtown Toronto had no detached properties that were sold. York Mills, Rosedale, 9, Willowdale, Bayview, 17 properties were sold. High Park, Parkdale area, 10 detached properties were sold. Let's look at average sold prices. Rexdale, Downsview, we used to have this as West Toronto. We had Etobicoke and Rexdale, Downsview that used to be considered West Toronto. We've split that up. Rexdale, Downsview, average sold price $848. Big difference from Etobicoke, naturally. Etobicoke is almost $1.7 million as the average sold price. When we look at Scarborough, $1,140,000 is the average sold price. East York, Riverdale, Beaches area also includes Leaside. Over $2 million, almost close to $2.1 million is the average sold price for East York. But I was including them before as one. So now we're splitting it up. More work on our end, but I think the information you're going to find more useful. Let's look at the amount of properties, the orange, sold at list price or more. For all of Toronto, it's 40%. When you look down at the specific neighborhoods, Rexdale, Downsview, 20% are selling at list price or more. East York Beaches, 43% selling at list price or more. Scarborough, 71% of the properties are selling at list price or more. So lots of competition over there. And you can see it from the months of inventory, the purple here. 1.1 in the Beaches area, 1.2 High Park, Yorkdale, 1.8 in Etobicoke, Willowdale, Bayview, 1.6 is the months of inventory. Scarborough, 1 months of inventory. Again, very competitive just in Scarborough. Let's take a close look at semis now. 41 semi-detached properties were sold. 12 of those sold at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price climbed way up to $1,394,000. The median price of $1,394,000 is 7% lower than last year's average sold price, and the median price $1,225,000 is 12% lower than last year's median price. That's for semis. When we look at semis this year, average sold price and median price has been trending upwards. Months of inventory sitting at 0.9. Extremely low. Very much a seller's market when it comes to semis. More than half the semis, 56%, are selling at list price or more. Here's townhouses. 18 townhouses were sold. These are freehold townhouses. 18 were sold. 5 of those were at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price $1,342,000. 1,342 is 5% lower than last year's average sold price, and the median price of $1,115,000 is 13% lower than where the median price was a year ago. And also, if we look at this year, we can see both average price and median price trending upwards. Months of inventory for townhouse sitting at 1 month of inventory, and also more than half, 56% of the townhouses being sold are sold at list price or more. Let's look at condos. Sales went up. 196 condos were sold. 26 of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price sitting at $767,000. A big reason for average sold price going up is we went from selling 15 condos at $1 million or more to 26 condos selling at $1 million or more. So average sold price $767,000, which is 6% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. The median price of $651,000 is 13% lower than where the median price was a year ago. And if we look at condos, when we look at the 4-week moving average this year, we can see that prices for average prices kind of flat, trending up a little bit, but the median price has been steadily going up, not as predominant or as pronounced as, say, the detached market is, but there's movement upwards in price when it comes to condos. Of the 196 that sold, 24% sold at list price or more. So there's some competition there. 479 were listed. Months of inventory sitting steady at 3.3 months of inventory. Here's a quick summary. When you're looking at the freehold market, months of inventory extremely low, and for this week became lower than what it was the previous week. So competition is intensifying. It's a combination of more buyers being out there and less properties being available for sale. That's really what's happening right now with the supply and demand. Condos steady at 3.3 months of inventory. A quarter of the condos are selling at list price or more. You have time many times with a lot of the condos to make a decision, put in offers, to think about it, maybe not competing. Very different in the freehold market. There's a good chance you're going to be competing. If you think this video, again, can help somebody you know, please pass it along. Thanks for watching.